back. We're in the Dam Story series, and I'm telling stories from the dam. My dam that I grew up on, Brush Dam. Brush Dam was a very quiet place, as I told you, where the women lived quietly, washing, doing their things, going to market back and forth. Children are playing, children are schooling, children catching fish, and so on. Very idyllic for country life in the village of Buxton and Friendship. Brush Dam is really situated in Friendship, but Friendship is a sister village to Buxton. Friendship was purchased by former Indian slave Africans in 1841. Buxton village was purchased in 1840. Together they became sister villages. And why not? They cooperated so they can get things done. On Brush Dam, over the line, I lived with my parents in the home they bought and renovated for us to live in as kids. Our next door neighbor was a lady called Sister Agatha Mosley. She was such an African woman in every sense. That was Sister Mosley, and she was quite a storyteller. She was a good neighbor to us. She was a Seventh-day Adventist, so every Saturday she was gone, and when she came home it was quiet at her house. She lived with her mother, Sister Trudy James, or Truda James. Can't be sure if it's Trudy or Truda, but one of those. And they lived there together. When my mother went out and she had to come back late and we didn't have dinner, Sister Mosley would come over and make us tea, bush tea. I remember her kindly for that. And she had fruit in her yard, guava and dongs and so on, she would share with us. I happened to know Sister Mosley at church also. And when I went back to the village, I wanted to learn more about Buxton women and their contribution to history. And these are the stories I'm going to tell the Africans who want to know more about us, those who were taken away, the descendants of the people from the continent. And my village has stories to tell. So this is a story I'm going to tell them. I went to Sister Mosley as a PhD student, wanting to learn more about the village and the women of Buxton, because we women of Buxton have a reputation. Yes, because they say Buxton women stop train, Buxton people stop train, and the women stop the train. So I wanted to know that story. But the story she told me is not the story I expected. And this comes to my first point. When you want to talk the dam stories, you got to ask the women from the dam for stories, because they have the stories. And I wish what I knew now I knew then, because I would have unearthed more stories. And this story came quite by chance, when I was not listening to a story, but listening for a story. And Sister Mosley sat down on the stairs on her porch, and I sat there. She told me the story twice, first by myself, and then I took my siblings when I went back home for her to tell us the story, and she did. So we're sitting on the front porch of our house at Brush Dam, looking over towards Vigilance. And across this Brush Dam is a trench, Brush Trench. And after Brush Trench is a plot of land, large acreage, that they used to plant rice at one time. But before the rice planting, it was just swamp that we children tramped in, pick up cow down, snail shells, we call it crickete, shells, and things like that. We look for bird eggs. But before that time, Sister Mosley said, it was just plantation land. In the time of her grandmother. Now, Sister Mosley's mother lived to be 105. Sister Mosley lived quite into her 90s. So these are long-living people. And Sister Mosley told us this story. She said, long time, them get plantation thing over there. And my grandmother said them used to work at the plantation and slavery in the dawn. And she said one day them a clean the trench, then they a pull out weed and stuff from the trench. And two bakra come down the dam. And then be depan down kiki. And they come and they stop. And they say, are you too? Carry we cross. And so I thinking to myself, carry cross way. Sister Mosley carry cross way. She said, over the trench for carry cross to the dam. No, my mind cannot compute what this means. You know, how you carry cross. The Sister Mosley grandmother friend said, no, me not carry your cross. Slavery done. I will not have to do that. But Sister Mosley grandmother said, yes, me will carry your cross. So I said to myself, what kind of story is this? One of them I said, nah, slavery done. And one of them I said, yeah. And a Sister Mosley grandmother go say, yeah. What she gonna say yeah for? I don't understand. Why would Sister Mosley's grandmother say yes to exploitation and degradation. But I couldn't even conceive of what the exploitation is. But the woman's words alerted me to that. Slavery done. So Sister Moses said her grandmother came out the trench, hike up she skirt, and she squat down at the side of the dam. He said, I tell you, this is a damn story. And she say, the Bakra climb on. Let me tell you people, my mind can't compute. The Bakra climb on? I say, you mean climb on? He climb on she neck. He put 1 foot over here and 1 foot over here. And he sit down here like a picnic. Pan this strong black woman. Can you imagine this image? Pan this strong black woman. Neck, he sit down. And I say, ay, oh, my mama. You know, when you think about enslavement, you think about many things. You think about the lashes and the whips, but you didn't think about this type of degradation and encroachment. And you didn't think about this embodied rhetoric of what these women had to endure. The white man's body on her neck, his genitals on her neck, his legs around her neck. And I am wide open with my mouth, wondering about this. And she said, my grandmother stepped down inside the trench. And she started walk in the trench with the Bakra up here. So you now get dirty. You up at your neck. And she said, when my grandmother meet me in the trench, she said, me shake a Bakra, me shake a Bakra, me duck a Bakra. We hear the stories of women's resilience and women's fighting back in the time of enslavement and post-enslavement. But this is a story that's close to home. What's a Bakra? A Bakra is a massa, a white person. They call them Bakra because when the sun hit them, they're red. So they're back red and raw. Those were the exploiters. And we rarely hear the stories of women's confrontation with the exploiters and the abusers. This story gave me another narrative. I don't know how you will take this story, but when I heard that story, my heart felt pleased that in my lifetime, I can hear from a granddaughter who was way in her 90s telling me about her grandmother's story. Sister Mosey walked tall. She walked proudly, not because she was prideful, but she had a story to be proud of. And she was able to give me that story. And as a Buxton woman, I take pride in that story, that we fought. And we had women who stood up to the oppressor. What gives me the right to walk with head bowed, cowed to the realities of life, to the hardships of life, to the oppressors of life? I will not. I dare not. Because women like these in my lifetime and my little village of Brush Dam told me that I can be more than, and I am damn well willing to be more than. And I think my story tells it, because I had every reason to be a failure. But because I'm a daughter of Buxtonians who persevered, who did their thing with such pride, and to give us the stories for our lives, I damn well got to do better. Yes, and that's one story from the dam. Take it, it's yours. Do what you will with it. And so I tell these stories to my nieces and my cousins and to the people who come here, so that you will know that we are people who are a force to be reckoned with, and we never lay down. They never lay down. No matter the circumstances, no matter the circumstances. So here's the woman in the trench, in a place most vulnerable, in a place most insecure, a place that says degradation and deprivation. And when the rubber meet the rope and the oppressor came to her, she seemed to cede power. She seemed to regress, but for a purpose, because she was going to demonstrate what it means that she wasn't going to take it back. Sometimes You have to play stupid to play wise. Sometimes you gotta accept to have your way. It's just a way of navigating life. All of this I learned from the story of the trench and much more. Much, much more. The woman who said no, good for her. Good for her. She didn't beat about the bush. That's one kind of box woman. And then you got the other box woman, like Sister Mosey grandmother, very wily, but she's going to give it to you. What's your story? What's your story? Because the land has stories. And these stories come to us to make us learn and think. And I'm pretty sure if I think about this story in the next 5 years, I'm going to get more from this story. So it's now yours. Do what you will with it. Until next time, when I tell you another damn story. This is Dr. Pauline Baird, cultural rhetorician from the village of Buxton. I tell our family histories, our whispered stories, our practiced hidden and sometimes long lost traditions. And this is what the stories say. Click that button. Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you.